What's up, guys? It's been a minute. Trying to test out the video quality, but it's been quite a while. It's been a couple of months. Just been busy with life. A lot of things got in my way, and just made excuses to not make any more videos. But life's starting to slow down a little bit, so I'm trying to get back into making these videos for me and you guys and everyone else who needs them or wants to hear it. I got the boys in here with me today, so if you hear some footsteps, it's because of them. So hopefully they don't bark. It's 11:30, so my mother-in-law might be coming over. Who knows? I don't know. We might have to end the video there, but uh, today we're just gonna talk about like a very big subject in my life. It's a subject that not everyone talks about because it's very frowned upon, I guess. You mention this, and it makes people turn their heads a little bit and think, like, what the hell are you talking about? Um, so we're going to be talking about the paranormal and mental health because I've had a lot of experiences with it. Um, so um, I never really had any. Well, that's a lie. When I got back home from deployment, which I was still in the military, and I was always in my barracks room, like that was the worst. One of the worst points that I was in beginning in my beginning phases of this journey, and I was on all these medications, like probably like 5 medications. um, a lot of them for depression and anxiety, and they would just make me feel like someone's watching me all the time, which was just fed into my mental health and aided it in declining. And so fast forward, like, the barracks rooms, they're haunted. Whether that be by, I'm just gonna say they're haunted. You don't, people don't realize how many soldiers actually take their lives in the barracks. Um, there was a couple of instances while I was in that people took their lives in the barracks. Two, two of them were in my barracks building. One of them was right before I got out. She had hung herself, I believe. Um, I definitely believe that the paranormal feeds into your mind so much, into your mental health, that it is a varying factor to you unaliving yourself. Um, but that's just my belief in it all. So fast forward to when I had gotten my first apartment. This is after the military. Um, I I don't know if it was haunted to begin with, but I would always see this figure, a little boy, um, standing in my doorway at night, and I was awake, I was coherent, I was laying in bed, like I know I was awake for sure, and all the doctors at the VA are like, "Well, were you awake?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, you could have been sleeping. You could have been like that mind." I forgot what it's called. It's your brain is still like asleep, misfiring all these signals that can make you see things when you just wake up. But I was clear as day awake. And so I would always see this figure of this little boy standing in my doorway. Never a face, just a shadow. Um, it never came any more closer to me than in my doorstep of my bedroom. And this was the peak of my alcoholism, drinking 15 and 20 beers a night, which probably didn't help it. Um, and I just to feed into it, like I wasn't the only one that saw these things. My little sister, for instance, she was about like, I don't know, 7, 8, somewhere around there at that time. She had come down to stay with us, and one day, like years later, she was like, I saw that little boy too. And she was telling me like all these things that I didn't remember saying. Like, oh, do you see that little boy? Do you see him staring at you? Um, I have no recollection of it at all. Um, so to add on to that as well, my wife was taking a video of our dog in the shower because he likes to jump into the shower when you're going to the bathroom, and she like scared him like by opening up the curtain, and she was videoing him. Excuse me. And as soon as she opens the shower curtain up, you can hear like a child's voice. I can't say whether it was a boy or a girl voice, but it was a child's voice, and it says puppy, like clear as day. Everyone can hear it. You can hear it on the video. My dog in the video like was staring and then like looked as soon as that you could hear that voice. So um and that was about the peak of when I kept trying to unalive myself or thinking about unaliving myself. So I believe that that tied into it as well. As like all that negative energy that I was giving off was feeding into the universe, and what you give is what you get. I was giving off negative energy. I was getting negative energy towards me, and as well too, like my wife. I was at the gym. My wife was taking a shower at home. It was the middle of the day. It was like 4 o'clock, and she'd left the bathroom door open. The light was on, and all of a sudden, like the light turns off, and the door is closed. And she calls me like crying, freaking out. So I like come home, and she's like, I'm never taking a shower again. And like, I believe her with everything that she says. Like, there's not one thing that I don't believe. Like, I'm not, you're full of shit. Like, I do believe it because we all, everyone, me, her, my sisters, every one of us saw something or heard something, felt something. Um, so I do believe that the more that you're in a weaker mindset, the more that you're bound to see these apparitions, feel these feelings, feel the negative feelings, feel the negative energy around you in the universe. Um, because they do say as well, it's like they come, they're attracted to the weakest ones. I mean like bad spirits and everything like that. I don't really like talking about it a lot because it does freak me out. Um, because I would always hear a voice, and it wasn't in my head. Like I'm not crazy. Like I wasn't in my head. I would always hear a voice like just telling me to that I'd be better off unaliving myself. I'd be better off unalived. I'd be better off not here anymore. And I truly believe that it wasn't myself telling me, that it was something higher telling me that. And the problem with that is like you can't really tell anybody that because they just write you off as crazy, um, or in my instance, they just throw some more medication at you, which leads me to my next thing is I am the strongest but yet weakest version of myself now. Um, Strongest because I am about 300 days sober now, a couple days off of being 300 days sober. But so I'm the strongest of myself in that aspect, but the weakest because I have all of these scars that I am scared of, that I'm still scared of everything. Um, so there's still something inside me that is open, that is feeding negative energy. Um, which to the next thing is here recently, like a lot of things have been happening, like, and it's not just me again, like my wife hears it too, like we're both just sitting in the living room and something will fall, or it's the sound of something falling, but we can't find what it is. And like I see like all these apparitions, and every time I turn my head, well, not every time, but a couple weeks ago, I would like turn my head to see a shadow, or my head would be still, and I'd see a shadow uh, out of the corner of my eye. And so I told my provider with the VA, and she's like, okay, well, let's try another medication. Let's give you a schizophrenic medication, which has helped, but it's also made me feel like nothing at all. Like I'm I'm not really pissed per se, but I'm the most like upfront that I've ever been. Like I will tell you something if I'm feeling it. So like with that instance, you can't tell anybody about the paranormal or talk about the paranormal, including mental health, because get labeled as crazy, or well, they told me I wasn't crazy, but they threw a schizophrenic medication at me, which is telling me that they think I'm crazy. Um, but yeah, I truly believe that I will always have a crack open because of everything I've been through and how weak I am now emotionally and um, mentally now. That I think for sure, with all my well being, that someone or something, it will always be attached to me because they feed off of my mental weaknesses. Uh, Spiritual, not so much. I consider myself non-denominational because I'm not Christian. I was Catholic, but I haven't been to church in years. Um, or either non-denominational or Methodist because I enjoy the way Methodists preach the word of Jesus. Um, and like a lot of you meet somebody that's happy, nothing bad ever happens around them, or spooky, I guess you could say. You meet somebody that is spiritually, I keep wanting to say spiritually, but emotionally and mentally damaged, you will always find some negative thing around them, not necessarily about them, but around them. Uh, and I think that just has to do a lot with mental health and the negative energy that feeds off into the universe that triggers anything negative to come at them. I I try and ignore it just because I believe the more that you pay attention to it, the more you feed into it, the worse it gets and the more crazier you feel. And the more crazier that you feel, like, I believe that that's what drives a lot of people to unalive themselves, is because they can't take it anymore. Um, and they let that little voice in their head win. And that's how they drive themselves to unalive themselves. I could say that because I've been there and I almost did. But there was a couple of things that were holding me back from it. I think the main thing is I spiritually wasn't as close enough to God as I wanted to be. And that's what really held me back from actually going through with it, is because I wanted, as much as I didn't want to be here, I wanted to be closer to God. I wanted to have a better relationship with Him. And around my first, in my first apartment, around all that time that was happening, we did go to church, and it seemed to make everything better, but everything worse at the same time. Like every time I'd go to church, like I they'd be talking about something that hit you right, like you needed to hear that and you wanted to hear that, and you're like, wow, like did we just come on the right day, or is this what I was needing to hear? Stuff like that. And God doesn't make mistakes. Like He, everything happens for a reason if you let it and you're open to it. And hearing everything that I heard for a reason, um, was in God's greater plan. Um, I believe that the worst mental health people have, the worse mental health that people have, the more that the energy is going to be bad. Like when I was in, when I went up to the psych ward, I checked myself in a psych ward right when I got back home from deployment. Um, the energy in that floor was so heavy. Like, and I've heard all these stories of these people that worked in the psych ward, and they would always see things like demons and dark dark things like that. I try not to really like talk about it that much because it does feed into, it opens up a door the more you talk about it, I believe. But then the energy in that place was just so heavy, so negative, um, that it's a breeding ground for bad energy to find you and for you to feel it and for it to drive you insane, pretty much. Um, it drives you to think that unaliving yourself is the only option. Now, I am no expert at any of this at all, so this is just my views on it, my takes because of my experiences. Um, you could have completely different experience, but I truly believe that there is more to mental health than we all believe, and it definitely ties into the spiritual world for sure, um, good and bad. So, just a quick little ramble of the paranormal and mental health and how they tie together in my experiences and in my opinions. Um, I hope you guys liked this. It's just a short video to get back into the groove of things again. Um, and try and come out with some more videos more often. I don't foresee multiple videos coming out a week. Maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every other week. I don't know yet. Um, my life's about to get really hectic here in about 10 days. So, um, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any experiences with the mental health side of things and the paranormal, have any stories, feel free to put them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Uh, the boys are ready to get out of the room, so I'll let you guys go.